Hey guys, 6 here, just making this video for you guys today, just showing off the Templar tank that I am currently running as of the Ascending Tide patch. It's one of my tanks that I carry alongside with me nowadays, and I just figured I'd share it with you guys so you guys can see what it is, see what I'm running for it, if you guys are ever part of the people joining in on the tank and sword meta with it. But, personal preference, I still prefer the Necro, but do what you can for what the group needs, you know? So, to start off with, let's just get right into the attributes. For the attributes, I'm running 41 in health and 23 in stamina. I'm doing a little bit extra in the health because our primary shield does come from our max health pool. That's what it scales with. So, I primarily focus in on that. We're running the Bewitched Sugar Skulls, just as our primary food of choice. The Atronac Mundus, as mag recovery can never be argued with, unfortunately, especially with how this meta's been, especially with Mundus for tanks. Ever since they buffed the Atronac, it's been a pretty dominant one for us. But in terms of gear, let's start right off with the gear. I'm running the Perfected Yolnahkrin with a defending main hand. It has a flame enchantment. Enchantment does not matter at this point. I'm still trying to figure out what I'd even want to run on my front bar, which would be like an optimal thing wherever I find like a poison that might be the way to go. I don't know yet, but at this time, I'm just running the Yolnahkrin. I'm also running the Yolnahkrin's Perfected Ice Staff with the Crusher enchantment. And that's going to just be there because you always want to run a Crusher no matter what. It's always best to have a Crusher involved, at least from you or another support. That way you can get the extra penetration buff, as that's 5% DPS increase just from that alone. This patch changed it up quite a bit, where essentially we are able to provide the Colossus debuff as any type of tank, which is very good. So we're running a 2-piece Nazare. Nazare essentially makes it so that way per 20 points of ultimate spent, it increases our duration of our active debuffs, major and minor debuffs only by 1 second. This can get up to about 25 seconds, which is an insane amount. That can give you almost a 35-second colo just from proccing it after hitting Turning Tide, or it can even be 36 seconds if you do it right after a Colossus finishes. So either way, amazing set. The other set we're running, of course, as mentioned just right there, is the Turning Tide set, which I'm pretty sure I have just health on all my body pieces, just so you're aware, with a stamina glyph apparently on my shield. Doesn't really matter. I'd probably do tri-stat here, though, with a sturdy shield. It's just the spare shield I had just laying around for this tank. But yeah, with Turning Tide, when you get a damage that you block, like when you're hit by damage while you're blocking, gives you a buff for 10 seconds. When you smash something with that shield bash after that, it sends a like a little water wave forward that deals 6.4k magic damage to up to 6 enemies in a 5x10 meter line, so 10 meters length, 5 meter width, and applies major vulnerability for 10 seconds, increasing the damage they take by 10%, and this can proc every 15 seconds. Well, never mind. Yeah, it can proc every 15 seconds, and the damage scales with your max health. So you can get roughly about 66% uptime at max just from this alone, but you can get even more with Nazare being involved. Sturdy on every body piece possible. If you can, you want to sturdy everything. For jewelry, I'm running healthy on all with the glyph of reduced magic cost on it. You could do infused jewelry or triune jewelry if you want. It doesn't really matter as long as like you're doing one of the main core stat things. That's the key point. You don't want, like, I mean, you can run Swift occasionally, but I typically wouldn't run Swift or something of that nature. But in terms of skills, the main skills we're going to be running is Pierce Armor as our primary taunt, Silver Leash as our primary chain pull. It's just there, it's our flex spot. We cycle it in for Heroic Slash if we don't need it. We have Radiant Ward, which is our primary shield. This thing gives us a quite beefy, nice little shield. It's almost 16k as it is, scaling by 20% per enemy hit up to 6 enemies. So this can get to a massive size. I've had this thing be a 27k shield. We also are running Repentance for the 15% increase to all of our recoveries passively, as well as if enemies die around us, we can just gobble up their corpses and get a big burst of stamina, as well as healing. And Purifying Light, because why not? I mean, that's how we proc our minor sorcery, and it gives a nice little heal over time around it, so as we keep it up, it'll keep healing us. We're running Reviving Barrier here. This is primarily for the passive stat regen. And then on our back bar, we have our Aggressive Warhorn for our main ultimate to use. You never want to put Horn on your front bar. Always do a more stat involved or buff involved ultimate on your front bar. That's always going to give you a better benefit in the long run. I'm also running Inner Beast at the moment. Inner Fire probably better. I'm just running Inner Beast at the moment. The main thing is to make sure that it's a range taunt. I'm also running the Blockade of Frost, which is just there to provide you with the AoE damage shield and just provide you magical blocking, so that way you can use both stats dynamically for mitigation. Restoring Focus, so that way we get the additional healing so when you're in the rune, which scales with your health about 5% of your HP every second, as well as gives you about 484 stamina recovery in equivalency, as well as your major resolve buff. Extended Ritual, just for the big, large 24-second AoE heal. Takes every 2 seconds, and you can usually get a pretty good amount of healing off of this, as you can see here. Just by it standing here, just buffing it up. 2.2k heal every 2 seconds, that's pretty solid. And then the Overflowing Altar, just to provide minor lifesteal and a synergy. For my champion points, just get all the passives you can, really. Any of the skill trees you mainly use, might as well. So for the CP tree, I guess there's one I haven't quite got that could be handy. Actually, a couple of them. Let me go ahead and allocate those real quick. This thing is a little bit of a... I mean, these ones don't necessarily matter as much as the others do. These are just free passive things. So, I mean, you can get them when you want. It's not going to like make or break your build to have these allocated or not. They're super minor in the end for those. But the main ones to be focusing on outside of our passes is our slottables, which we want to slot Unassailable, Enduring Resolve, and Duelist Rebuff, with the last one being Ironclad here. Those are our primary ones for the blue tree. Everything else that's passive, just get it. Might as well. So for the red tree, I have Rejuvenation, but you could also go for Boundless Vitality for the extra health pool. That would work as well. Or Fortified if you need the 3% roughly mitigation. But outside of that, you're also going to be looking at the Bastion CP being slotted. This just to make our damage shield 15% stronger, since it's our main form of mitigation. And I also run the Celerity CP for the 10% increased movement speed. And the Bracing Anchor, I almost said Ironclad. That's not what it is. The Bracing Anchor CP for the 20% increased block mitigation. That's primarily what I run for those types of things. It's fairly simple on that. You can always change out the Bracing Anchor if you don't need necessarily to have the extra block mitigation. But overall, it's not anything too complicated. This is just typically what I'm running in my Templar tank, and more or less is translatable towards my sword tank, but I may release my sword tank in the future as well. But the primary purpose of it is just to shield the damage, enjoy your nice heal over time, so you can slap down those heal over times, burst out a big shield, and you're going to heal a lot of people consistently, as well as passively heal yourself up. It does heal a bit better than the Nightblade tanks do at this current patch, but it's always good to have this kind of stuff. But yeah, that's just a quick little video. I have another video in the works that I'm hoping to release this weekend about the top 10 overland sets in ESO. But if you did enjoy the video, or if you have any other questions, or any other thoughts involving the build, maybe I missed something to cover that you might be interested in, please leave it in the comment section down below. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys want to subscribe to the content and leave a like. Helps promote the channel, helps get the information out there so I can help others as well. Outside of that, though, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I very much so appreciate you guys checking in on the channel and taking a moment of your time to watch the video. Thank you, guys.